I can never do the Aussie accent because of the O's. The O's are very difficult. Right?
It's true. It's a very difficult language, yeah.
That's not.
This is a very difficult language.
Oh.
Well, hello, darlings. My name is Danielle Bisutti, and you're on the Good Luck Have Fun, also known as GLHF podcast. And I'm your host.
Woo! Not.
Maybe she should be. Maybe she should be.
No, I want to be. I've got all this free time, darlings. I would like to be your host.
Hello and welcome to Game and Fortune, the show where the game is utter nonsense and the prize for our winner is exposure. Game and Fortune is a shambles of a game show, but it's one with dozens of listeners. Dozens. In this game, players compete against each other to prove their video game knowledge, risking their lives and reputations in the process. Come with us as we spiral slowly into the abyss. I am your host, the reviled Dave Breens, and I'm here with the one and only Kirk McKeand, also known as Mr. Innocent. Kirk, definitely not a criminal McKeand, and Don Kirkione.
Yep. Did you know I was voted least likely to commit a crime in my yearbook, which is something we definitely did in school.
You know what? I completely believe it. Why would I have any reason to doubt the person that employs me?
Exactly.
Fantastic.
How quickly did you break that, Kurt? Just curious.
Oh, no, I've never committed any crimes that I've been caught for.
Indeed.
And no one catches the Don.
Exactly.
Today we are joined by Ryan Woodrow.
Babbling blindly between bad beguiling banter.
I hate you so much.
Okay. I mean, he's allowed to... Look, we're also joined by Oliver Brandt.
Hi, team.
Okay. And we are joined by a very, very special guest. A singer, a writer, and an actor you probably know best as Freya from God of War. It's Danielle Bisutti. Please tell me I pronounced that right.
You did, darling. Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm so pleased to be with all of you chaps. I know it's much later in the day for all of you, especially you, Ollie. But it's fantastic to be here. Honestly, I've Kirk and I have been interfacing on the Twitter now known as the X for a while.
It's definitely not now known as X.
I miss the bird. I do.
I miss the bird.
I'm nostalgic. The whole deal. But anyway, we it's great because we get to interface and meet one another, and here we all are, and you're all gonna just check out my video game prowess, and I'm very excited. I got my red lipstick on, and I'm ready to go.
You are looking very glam for 10 a.m. I don't understand it.
Thank you, darling. I wake up, roll out like this. I'm like Snow White, darling. I'm just in the glass casket, and the prince comes and wakes me up, and I got the red lips and the pale skin.
Brilliant.
It's going to be this the whole game. It's going to be this the whole time.
Hell yeah. That's what I wanted.
For the listeners as well, Danielle went off to get some headphones, but they had to be black headphones to accessorize with her outfit.
Absolutely. Do you see the earrings too?
I do, yeah. and the necklace. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a little history behind this outfit. It's actually I tend to keep a lot of wardrobe from the characters I play, but we'll get into that later. Okay.
We'll get into it right now. Tell me about it.
Well, as you guys know, I happen to play witch a lot, different kinds of witches. Of course, you never really know if a witch is a good witch or a bad witch. I mean, even from The Wizard of Oz, we weren't clear, right? Because witches are basically, they're serving their own agenda at all times. And usually that agenda is to stay young and beautiful. So you guys, I was in a show, you have to see it. I don't know if you've seen it. It was called Dwight in Shining Armor. Has anyone on the podcast seen it? Now you must. So I tell people, if you love The Princess Bride, Monty Python, and I can tell by Ryan's geekiness that he probably likes that.
And I'm not sure whether to take that as a compliment or not.
It's a major compliment. I know I'm supposed to hate on you. I'm supposed to hate you, but because you look like you walked right out of a Jim Henson, like Fraggle Rock meets Labyrinth, and you're also a bit like rock and roll with the long locks. So you're going to love Dwight in Shining Armor. And it's also a little bit like Freaks and Geeks because it's this single camera sort of oddball comedy. I play a witch called Hexala on it, and I've been shape-shifting for like thousands of years. And all I need is like the toe bone of a princess to stay young and beautiful and fabulous for my prime elixir. It's the whole vibe. But this shirt, they put me in a lot of black and white, black jewels, and I would always have like the red lips. The glasses are something kind of new. I thought it would just kind of bring that little nerd effect to the podcast, and voila.
Well, whose blood do you steal in real life to keep you youthful?
I'll never tell, Kurt.
Be yours if you ask too many questions.
This is true.
I'm a criminal. I mean, I'm not a criminal. So you've done a lot of work in movies, TV, as well as games. So how did the games acting kick off? Like, how did you get into that?
It was just, I say the God of the universe brought me God of War, because it truly was one of those things where, you know, we're, as actors, you get auditions all the time. And this was back in 2014, before the whole world got turned around in 2020, which is a different time. What can I tell you? And I got the audition, and I knew it was an interactive game, but I didn't really know what that meant. Because as I say in a lot of my interviews, I sort of hung up my video game like prowess around Super Mario. I think that the new controllers came out, and then it was just like, there's an X and a Y and there's a red button. And I was good at it. I love Mario. But I guess I just sort of like started adventuring into different things. And so, but I knew video games graphically and visually had advanced like beyond all measure. Yeah. And they looked like these mini movies. So when it was explained to me, it was, you know, very much like what they do in Avatar. You're going to act out these scenes in the mocap suit, and they're going to animate you. And I just thought that was so cool. And also too, like I thought of Gollum in, you know, Lord of the Rings. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I always wanted, but at that point I didn't know who I was auditioning for. The Sides, of course, as you know, this is like one of the best writing teams of all video games of all time. I mean, Sony Santa Monica. I go on and on about Corey and Eric and Matt and Rich and the whole team. But there was a beautiful speech, and I felt like it felt very Shakespearean, and I was an actress from the theater. And so I thought I can do this. And I went in and I did it. And apparently, and I didn't know this at the time, I look a lot like the original renderings of Freya. I mean, she had at that time blue eyes. She sort of had, you know, a bit of a prominent forehead. The cheekbones were there, like even the mouth. Oh, and so I've got this beauty mark, which I like to emphasize. Well, in the original sketch, she has a beauty mark, but I think it was like up here. And it was wild because I'm walking in just like, you know, memorized and feeling empowered as an actress, but I did not realize I'd be walking as the like actual personification of this character that they had been developing for the game. And so Corey Barlog said he almost fell out of his seat. And like within the first 30 seconds, he's like, that's her. There she is. She literally just walked in the room. And so that's music to any actor's ears, because you want that, you know, sort of leg up. Oh, wow. I even look like what they envisioned. And then they're like, please, God, let her know how to act. And I did. And it was great. And the words were great. The speech was great. And the rest is history. And I didn't know what game I was in. I didn't know any of that until the rehearsal. I'm sure you've heard also in some other interviews, the table read, when you ostensibly would have all of your, you'd know what project you're in. Yeah. You would know what character. Is that when you first
met your castmates as well, the table read?
I met my castmates for the first time. And then, you know, listen, when you're auditioning, guys, there's like a ton of people back when we would actually go into rooms. Now everything's like, put yourself on tape, and that's a whole other story. But you can't remember who's in the room unless you're auditioning maybe for like Scorsese and you're like, I'm pretty sure that's him. But these are all new faces, new people. So I vaguely remembered seeing Corey's face, maybe not. So you show up and you're like, you know, here's the table read, and you're prepared. I'm prepared, but I still didn't know I was Freya. And I think had said this before, but there was a painting behind me, and it was Kratos with the blades of chaos, you know, and it was very emotional, and he's got his muscles rippling out, and he's got the blades. I think he was down on his knees, and this was like old Kratos with the goatee, because as you all know, I think that the beard is much sexier. I'm like a really big fan of the beard. So, and he was like so emotional, and I was just talking to Corey, and I kept looking around behind me, and I was like, I feel like I've seen this guy before. Like, I know he's in a video game. What's it called again? And he's like, God of War. I said, oh yeah, that's right. I'm like, I've heard of that game. I'm like, so you all do that game here? He was like, mm-hmm. And he's like, in fact, that's the game that you're going to be in. And I was like, my head started going a million miles an hour. I'm like, okay, I've never seen the game. I don't know what character I am. And then, of course, I go in, and then there's Chris Judge with his gorgeous booming, bass like voice, and Robert Craighead, who's hilarious, and Adam, who's brilliant, and then Alistair with his Scottish brogue. And I'm just like, hi guys, this is my first game, and it's my first voiceover job. And I just hope I don't get fired. And it took me a minute to find Freya. It took me a minute to find her, but once I did, and once she was in my body and in my voice, there is no turning back. She is now.
How much of yourself have you put into Freya then? Because, like you say, the two things overlap, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was just really extraordinary. I always kind of feel this with characters that I'm playing, but there's, we all have a certain brand or a certain archetype that we lead with, right? And as an actor, you want to be the shapeshifter, the Daniel Day-Lewis, the Cate Blanchett, a good old Aussie that she is. She's my absolute hero, because they take on a role and they lose themselves to a certain degree, but there's always sort of a piece of you, right? Well, Freya, absolutely. Her journey absolutely mirrored this moment in my life where I was, I had just gone through this divorce, and I was experiencing this like grand, like fully like from the insides being ripped out type of betrayal. I thought my life was going in one direction, and it was in completely the other. And there were betrayal on many, many levels. And so when you meet Freya, of course, she's a shell of who she once was, and relegated in Midgard for like 180 years and everything. So it was like, oh, I know her starting point. I know this starting point. And then as she grew as a character, like honestly, my life was lockstep with her every step of the way, all the way to getting her wings back. And a lot of Freya being Freya sort of gave me my wings back. And so there's been a symbiosis between she and I 100%. And as she has grown, I have grown with her. And now I just feel that she's a part of me forever, indelible in my DNA.
What about when you went on to Ragnarok? Because obviously there's a lot of anger in Freya in that game, like at the beginning at least. Where did you pull from for that?
Oh, it's really easy, Kirk, when you've been screwed over. You fall in love with your character, right? So you're a bit protective of them. I could not wait to get back on those stages and lunge at Chris Judge for like, I wanted blood. I wanted to injure and hurt him, and to the point where like at one point they had to pull me back. So we did the scene where, I jump on, and obviously I'm not really shapeshifting from Falcon into Freya, but I know. Spoiler. In my head though, I am. I've always fancied myself a fairy, so I was like, I got my little fairy wings forever. But all of a sudden, so then right when she lands on that sled, which is sort of that iconic opening, right? Because on the downbeat, I mean, this is what makes the writers and creators at Sony Santa Monica so brilliant. They, I think, gave the players exactly what they were like, the bloodthirst that they knew, that speech Freya gave at the end of 4, where it was like every agony, every violation, and she made good on her promise. I then got to just jump on this box that was, the sled. And then I got to, take my fake wooden sword and come down on Chris, and it was just like all of the waiting from game 4 to Ragnarok, it was like I picked up where she left off. And I finally was like, yes, like she needs to go through this chapter of seeking vengeance and revenge. But it's going to be her greatest lesson after all will be forgiveness, as we know, which makes Freya's journey so powerful and palpable. And I think why people, they're rooting for her. I think they're with her. They're afraid of her. They're mad at her, but they also empathize. And then when she just chooses to forgive, it's like, it's also, I think, a real feminine strength, because I think the mother comes through. The mother comes through in her leadership, which is about building alliances, loving, building family. And I think she just realizes, even if I kill Kratos, right? I leave an orphan child here. I leave Atreus an orphan. Like, how is that any better? Or if at the end, if I smash the pearl, the seed that Odin has been in, like really what peace do I get from that? I don't.
Mm.
And in fact, it's much more empowering to forgive. So I loved that journey, and I'm so grateful for it. And it very much mirrored a lot of things in my life once again. So
Were there any moments where they like pared you back a little bit? Because there's that.
Yes!
I'm not saying you're over the top. It's just there's that footage of Chris Judge, isn't there, where he's doing the bit where he brings out the blades and a tear rolls down his cheek, and obviously Kratos doesn't cry. He looks sad, but he doesn't cry. So obviously they changed that in the animation department. So is there anything like that mirrors that for you?
Yes. That's a great question, because I think what made the game so powerful was that this unrelenting god of war now actually did have regret and did look back at the trail of bodies. And now with a son, everything changed. So with Freya, I got to just be organic in the moment and give whatever emotion was there. That would of course be the job of a Corey or an Eric.
Yeah.
And sometimes Matt to sort of come in and help me find nuance. Sometimes that nuance was there. You could feel it brimming under the surface. And then there were times for me to just scream Kratos, blood curdling, from the depths of my soul. Or when I'm ripping out the roots, right? I'm finally freeing myself of all of the spells, I mean, metaphorically and also like literally and figuratively, that have kept me bound. So there were tears there. And as Danielle, I was thinking of any sort of ancestral root, because we have these things called epigenetics and things that get passed down and traumas from childhood. We all have these things that have happened to us in our lives. So in that moment, I was just picturing myself ripping out anything that's ever hurt me or caused me to be the person hurting other people. It went very deep. And so every time the tears were coming down, and Eric would say, he would come over every time, and there was a big puddle of there was like a big wet spot from all Danielle's tears. So I don't think they really pulled me back from moments like that, but there were moments of refinement and nuance that absolutely an actor needs a director to see and to help guide you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about now? Are you working on any video game projects? I know you can't be specific, but is there anything in the works?
There might be something.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, there might be something fun. I'm excited to be able to share what that is at some point.
Well, I'm excited for you to reveal it down the line. All right,
I'll come back to you guys if you come hang out with me again.
Oh, we'll hang out with you anytime. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
This week, we're going to kick things off with 2 truths and a lie. Our special guest, will tell us 2 truths and a lie, and the other 2 guests will have 1 guess between them to figure out what the lie is. The contestants will get 1 point each if they win, and Danielle will get 3 points if she wins.
All right, Danielle, speak your truths.
Oh, gosh, guys. I was thinking about this a lot. I was like, what can we give that is juicy? All right. The first villain I ever played was when I was 18 years old, and it was Cruella DeVil at Disneyland Parks.
God, I could see that already.
When I was on True Jackson VP playing Amanda Cantwell, there was an episode where I jumped into a big box of balls, colorful balls. And one time they didn't have the hatch securely attached. And when I went down, I broke my ankle. And the third one is I am currently in pre-production on a project that I have written and will be directing, and it will be shot here in Atlanta, and it's a psychological thriller horror fantasy, and my friend Jeremy Davies, who played Boulder, is going to be my monster.
Right, you two, you've got one question each about one of these truths.
Jesus. Well, I don't know where to start with that. They're all so intriguing.
I know which one I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what I believe.
You know
Ollie,
what you
go
believe?
first.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, Dave.
How much time did you have to take off when you were injured on set?
That is a really good
second truth?
question. Yes. I had to take off. I had to take off at least 2 weeks, if I remember correctly, where I wasn't able to continue like with scenes where I was walking. But what we were able to do was sort of work me back in scenes where it was like almost kind of waist up situations. So if you remember correctly, if you ever watched the show, Amanda Cantwell, she worked in her office, and a lot of times she'd be talking to Oscar behind the desk. So it was basically like, all right, as her ankle is healing, we're not going to see her in her Prada stilettos, which, by the way, I always play a fashionista in all my shows. So it was just one of those things where we had to allow the healing to happen. I mean, I got injured a lot on that show. I'm not going to lie, because they did the worst things to me on that show. But we were able to work around it.
Those sorts of kid shows have some gnarly stunt work on them.
It's crazy. And I was like the foil to True every time. So I was sort of supposed to be this very like well manicured, put together, sophisticated woman of the office, right? Who was very affected by everything. And they would have me like fall through balls, and a big slab of meat slap me in the face, and I fall on my back, fall backwards in a True thing. And like one time I'd put my arms out, and it was Dave. Oh, I'm forgetting his last name. It's forgetting me. A really funny comedian. He was just on that show Fargo. It'll come to me in a minute. And I put my arms out like this, and I fall backwards. And he doesn't catch me, and it was supposed to be one of those like trust falls. So they were always having me do stunts, and I'm I am very glamorous, but I'm a glamorous tomboy. Like don't get it twisted. Like I was telling you, I loved all that stunt stuff. Anytime I could do a stunt in God of War, I was like, please let me do it. So I wasn't anticipating falling through, and it was like smack down right on my poor little ankle, and didn't bode well for all those high heels they put me in.
So tell us about your stint as Cruella DeVil then.
So yes. So I went to California State University at Fullerton, and I also went to UC Irvine to do extended studies in musical theater. Which is, I'm a double major in acting for the camera. And so that's where I got like to learn a little bit about, in front and behind the camera, and then obviously musical theater. And so when you're in Orange County and you're an actor and you need a job, to pay for, because back when we had to pay for our student loans, no offense, I had to go get a job. And so I was like, well, surely I'm going to go to Disneyland, and I'm going to walk in, and they're going to see like Snow White. They're going to see Belle when I walk through the door. They're gonna let me sing the Little Mermaid song. Like I thought I was going to be this incredible ingenue. And I walked in and for a character audition, and I remember I came up and maybe I did a monologue, I can't remember, and they were like having me turn around and looking at me from different angles, and they were like, well, who would you like to play? I'm like, well, I mean, obviously Belle, or Ariel, Snow White is kind of a given. And they said, have you ever thought about an evil character? And I was like, no, I'm a good Christian girl. How dare you? And they said,
let me awaken you to your true nature.
Let me awaken you. And I was like, Maleficent. And I was like, you mean like evil queen, like evil stepmother? And they're like, how about Cruella DeVil? And at that time, I think it was around the time the Glenn Close version had come out. And I think they had me say puppies or something like that. And then immediately they were like, oh, yes, red stiletto, patent leather, thigh-high boots. Get this BITCH
dog murder
going. Yeah, dog murder. hate those dogs. And also scaring children left and right. They loved it. I mean, parents would come and shove their screaming child toward me. Ah! And the parents thought it was hysterical. But there were always like those little girls who loved Cruella, and they would come up and they would strike poses.
Right, well, since there's only two of you on this pod, you can have a different guess each if you like, rather than joining up.
God, there are 3 really believable stories. This was actually really difficult. Because I can see you in both. I can see you playing Cruella DeVil. Totally works. The True Action BP stuff, yeah. Like I know a lot about like the production of those shows, and yeah, people got hurt all the time. And like I find it very believable that you'd come on here to promote an upcoming project. So, God, I don't know. I bet it's going to be something like, oh, I did play Cruella DeVil at Disneyland, but when I was 19, not 18. Because that's what people do when they come on this show.
That would suck. That would suck.
I don't think Danielle would do that.
I can't believe Ryan's still sore about that. Get over it.
He's really sore.
I'm sore about everyone doing it. So many people do it. What do you think, Ollie?
Don't tell him, Ollie.
I mean, I can keep it to myself. No, I think the second one, because I fully believe that injuries occurred on set, but I think that injury in particular might not be the truth.
Okay, for the sake of going different, I'm gonna say the first one. The Cruella DeVil story is a lie.
Cruella.
Okay.
For the record, I'm teaming up with Ollie.
You two, okay, Ollie, Dave, and Ollie, and then Kirk. What about you?
Yeah, I think Ollie's got it.
You think Ollie's got it?
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, who you all hate, is the odd man out. You guys.
No, that's Ryan that everyone hates.
Ryan.
Ryan. Dave's like, no, wait.
I'm taking the hit to make it a more interesting competition.
And so now what?
You reveal your truths.
The big reveal.
The truth is, I am currently in pre-production of sorts for a project called Wake Me that I have written, and I will be directing and producing here in Atlanta, hopefully, possibly Tennessee, where we need a lake house and an insane asylum. It's going to be fantastic. And Jeremy Davies is going to be playing my monster named Pandora, and nice. I'm so excited about this next chapter of making films, and cannot wait to share it with everybody. So that is a truth. So keep us in your good thoughts, because independent filmmaking it could basically kill you if you let it. You have to just soldier on. So that's been really awesome. And there actually is somebody else semi-attached for my lead. I don't want to say his name just yet until there's like official, but it's going to be an exciting name. And then my other truth is, when I was 18 years old, I went and got a job at Disneyland, and I wanted it to be Belle, but alas, the evil came out, and my true nature was revealed for the rest of my life, playing Mother of Death and witches and
dog murderer.
Formidable women, yes, dog murderer indeed. Only when they're naughty dogs. And only when they look fantastic on my coat.
So this lie then about you breaking your ankle, how much of a lie is it?
I did not break my ankle, but I did go through a big, like at Chuck E. Cheese or one of those sort of kid places where kids jump into like the vat of balls, right? I mean, it's funny to say. I jumped into a vat of balls and injured myself. It's a very unsavory visual, but I did. And I did go through, and there was a nail that was out, and the nail did scratch me, but I thought I would sort of enhance that by saying that I slammed down too hard and broke my ankle. But darn Ollie with his question about how long it took to heal. I said, I don't know.
It was a good answer though. They're saying they filmed you from the
that's another because again, like when like female actors are pregnant and stuff, they'll like carefully frame them behind a box or something so you can't see.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going for, right? I thought, how do we hide it? Oh, we hide it the way they do with pregnant women, and then boom.
It was a very good answer to that question.
I
felt like you went too off topic when you explained that question. It was almost like you're trying to cover your tracks too much. That's how I knew.
Dave. Of course you would know, Dave.
Can I ask you something, Danielle? You said when Ollie caught you out there, you said, oh, that's a good question. Is that a stalling tactic that's ingrained upon you through like interview training?
Break down the semantics. I like it, Kirk, as one would when one is a master interviewer, such as yourself. Yes. I thought, oh, shit, what am I going to say? I was like, yeah, good question. Very good question. Indeed. Well, let's see. Yeah. It was about 2 weeks in a cast. And I was like, I've never been in a cast. Knock on wood. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I've never been injured to such a degree. So I didn't know. You got me on that. I started sweating
That's
a little
good.
bit under my armpits. It's a good thing. You always like,
You covered it quite well.
thank you.
I think actually Ollie had a question for you, but I forgot to get it in during the question bit. Do you want to throw it up, Ollie?
I did actually. It's less of a question and more just an observation, because the day that Kirk told us that you were going to be a guest on our show, literally like about 2 hours before he told us that, I had just watched an episode of Charmed with my partner and looked up the cast list of that. And that was you. You were on that episode that I watched that specific day. So you played the Lady of the Lake in
The Lady
in
of the
Charmed.
Lake. I did.
Do you
I
remember
love that you
that?
saw that. Oh, 100%. So there's so many reasons. Like, it's so funny how like things can be fortuitous, right? Like you're watching it, the one random episode I'm in with red curly hair, by the way. See, I don't look, it doesn't, my face is pretty much the same. Obviously, like I've aged. I was like 22 or 23 when I did that, but my hair is totally different. The Arthurian legends I grew up on. So the fact that like one day I would be playing witches or fairies or queens just felt really, really right. My mom raised me on Star Wars and King Arthur. So some really great narratives and storytelling that, and that and Jesus, of course, from the Bible. So we've got great stories going on in my childhood home. It was fantastic. But I always wanted to be either Morgan Le Fay or Guinevere. Can't really choose between both of them. And then all of a sudden one day I get an audition for the Lady of the Lake and I said, this is mine. And guess what else I used for the audition that booked me the job?
A vat of balls.
Not a vat of balls, darling. My flawless British accent, darling. And I knew at the moment that this was going to be mine. I did. I didn't need to schedule a rehearsal. See how I did that? Schedule. I didn't schedule anything, darlings. No, I took the size.
I just say schedule.
Oh, you do? How dare you? You're not supposed to pronounce. You're not supposed to pronounce the C. Schedule. Yeah. But I knew, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Grew up with the Arthurian legends, got the whole like red princess curly hair look, gonna do my British accent. Boom, got the job. And just another little fun piece of trivia. The wardrobe costume designer on that show just happened to be someone I grew up with in Simi Valley, California. We used to carpool together to high school, and we both played basketball together. She was a center, and I was like on the right of her, on the other side of the key. Like, so the two of us grew up together, and we both like, she got most likely to be remembered or to go out in the world and create great stuff. And I got like most talented my year. So like she and I were always like, we're going to go out there and we're going to make our dreams come true. And then all of a sudden we went our separate ways and then landed together as she was dressing me for Lady of the Lake. It was fantastic.
I got least likely to commit a crime.
Yeah, I know, darling. And I feel like you've bucked that system a bit. I feel like you've challenged that a few times in your life, Kirk.
When's the court date, Kirk?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on.
All right, let's do it.
This week's theme is arcade games. And next up, we've got Buzzword, our quick fire quiz. In this round, the judge reads out questions and the contestants have to buzz in to answer them. Correct answers get 1 point, and the other contestants can buzz in if the person before them gets the question wrong. Unfortunately, the judge spent the budget we had aside for buzzards on a bespoke balaclava. So each contestant will need to select a word to represent their buzzer. Okay, so how bespoke is the balaclava?
Gold inlays, like silk lining. It's beautiful.
Like, is there a pattern, or is it just like...
No. So all the fancy stuff's on the inside for my face. So it feels smooth when I'm on a job.
Got his name right across the forehead.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Because we don't have buzzwords, we're going to have to use words instead. So,
are we all speaking in alliteration, by the way? Because the alliteration is absolutely an aphrodisiac.
Not intending to. Not
Hang on,
intending
I
to.
can Google words beginning with B again.
No. we
Oh,
don't
I
want-
love it.
Ryan, what's your buzzword?
Audacious.
All I heard was bodacious. What did you say, Dave?
What's your
What?
buzzword?
People love bespoke. That's a great one. People feel really fancy when they say bespoke, don't they?
That's why I
It's
write
true.
it.
Yeah.
all the time.
True.
Bespoke.
Well, before we got on, Kirk told me that I'd be at a disadvantage because most of these games came out before I was born. And I've always lent into that as an advantage. So my buzzword is the year I was born, 99.
I know, Danielle. It's
I
disgusting.
graduated college in '98. This is horrifying.
Yes. It's
Oh,
awful.
right.
That's why we don't like him.
Yeah. Not only is he annoying and horrible, but he's also young.
He's just a
Okay.
puppy.
Yeah. Ollie.
Horrible. We know what you do with puppies, Danielle.
You know exactly what I do with puppies because I was noticing his beautiful hair might be nice on one of my coats. I'll call it a shagalicious coat via Ryan.
Shagalicious.
My Woodrow. It's my Woodrow coat. I'm not
Brilliant.
I loved it. I loved it.
I
Oh, Ryan, shagalicious. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go. Ollie, what's your buzzword?
Just because I mentioned Neo Geo earlier, because that was the arcade system that I had access to as a child, I will go with Neo Geo, which is way too long for a buzzer, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good. Sounds good.
It's 4
Dan-
syllables.
Danielle, have we given you enough time to think of a buzzer of your own?
Well, obviously it's going to be shagalicious, right? I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if there could be another word for my
Yeah.
buzzword. Shagalicious, darling.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I told
Okay.
you my cheeks were going to hurt in this podcast.
Yeah.
Kirk, take it away.
Let's go. All right. Question 1. Which punk rock band is synonymous with Crazy Taxi?
99.
Go on, Ryan.
Sex Pistols.
No.
Come on.
Oh shoot! What am I thinking? I'm thinking of London Calling.
Say Shagalicious immediately.
Shagalicious. Who sings London Calling?
To the faraway town.
Why am I forgetting?
I
No,
thought
no,
as well.
it's
It's not them anyway. Don't worry about it.
Ah.
It's not them, I'm sorry. The bat go down.
Are you gonna have a go, Ollie?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
The
yeah,
Offspring.
yeah.
Come on,
Right.
Who is it?
Jesus, The Offspring.
Oh no, I would have known.
It's literally like the most common song to play when you start playing it. It just goes, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the Offspring. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Okay, this one's easy. Ready? Which other cartoon show got a side-scrolling arcade beat-em-up similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, come on. You got
Wait,
this.
ask it again.
99. 99.
Ryan?
The Simpsons.
Yes.
Did you Google it?
No.
I saw him. He was leaning
That's what I
in.
thought.
I
That's what
wasn't
what-
sure.
You literally, I like looked around in my head. I was like in my mind palace. I was like, I know this is here
Oh, here
somewhere.
we go.
I've
Here
got
we
to find
go.
it.
I want your hands up here for the rest of the show. Ryan.
My thing, look, if I'm typing, I face this way. I have to.
Oh, I don't
He's
want to
trying
hear
to
your
cover it
excuses.
now. Just,
I'm
you're gonna
impressed
say,
that
you're gonna
you're-
say that was a good question in a minute, aren't you?
I'm impressed that you consider your mind a palace in which you lose things or find things. I really like that. My mind palace. All
My
right.
mind's a shed.
Where you apparently murder people because you were most likely to not. Okay, sorry.
We don't talk about that. Not
All
on
right,
air.
darling.
House of the Dead 2's boss enemies, for example, Judgment, Strength, Magician, and Emperor, derive their names from what?
99.
Ryan?
Tarot cards.
It is tarot cards. Look at him go.
Judgment was what gave it away there.
How many characters can use the Hadouken move in Street Fighter 2?
Shagalicious.
Danielle?
Oh, I want to give that to Ollie.
Give it
I'm
to
giving
Ollie.
it to Danielle.
I'm sorry,
I'm giving it to Danielle. She's the guest.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Ollie's already in front.
three characters.
You fucked it up. You fucked it
Oh,
up.
I did? What did I do?
You got it wrong.
Oh.
That's the worst kind of fuck up.
that was like the most harsh critique ever. Like you could say, nice try, Danielle. No, it was straight to you fucked it up. I mean, God.
I'm sorry. I'm from the East Midlands in Britain. So.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna brush my hair and look cute. Go on, Ollie. You answer.
I was going to say 2.
you was going to say the right answer.
Ah, well, I was close. I was off by 1.
You fucked it up, Danielle.
I mean,
okay?
if I had said 20, then I wouldn't know what I was talking about, right? Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to keep brushing my hair. Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
I wish I could.
In the shooting range of Silent Scope, which foodstuff can players train their aim on?
Shagalicious.
99.
That was Danielle.
Pies, darling. Meat pies. Really
You
fancy.
fucked it up, Danielle.
Really fancy, like, lemon meringue pies. You can just shoot the pie and piff, it explodes. And then you can eat it as well, and you can gain points that way. No?
No.
I like where
no.
you're going with it.
Oh, yeah,
Me too.
I like the homework that you did, but no.
99. Apple.
No.
Just one?
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
apples. Apple.
An Apple Mac, I meant, yeah.
Oh. Ollie.
I don't know.
Name a fruit.
Lemons.
Lemons is melons. You got it backwards.
Oh,
Kinda.
Oh, it's close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close.
All right, this one's for you, Danielle. Come on, you got this. What was Pac-Man originally called?
No. Shagalicious.
Yeah?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
There we are. That's my answer. Pac-Man was originally called Cute Little Yellow Sun.
I'm afraid not.
Chomp chomp. Chomp chomp.
No.
I
not
like
Chomp
it though.
Chomp either.
Chomp Chomp.
It should have been called Chomp Chomp, though.
Yeah.
That's cute. All right.
Anyone else?
I'm going to weep when I find out the right answer.
Wait, what do you mean no? No one else has this?
99.
No one else?
Go on,
Yeah?
Ryan.
Graham.
No.
Wow.
Ollie?
Dot. I don't know.
Oh,
He's a
That
dot.
is not your buzzer.
No, it's not.
Shagalicious.
Who else is gonna bug it?
Go on,
I'm going to
Danielle,
let
hit us with
Danielle
it.
have another go. Go on.
Ghost Eater. Ghost Eater.
Ah.
No,
I like it, though.
funnily enough, it's not that either. It's Puckman.
Pokeman?
No,
Puck.
Puck.
P-U-C-K.
Puck. Oh, Puck. Puck.
So-
No,
No,
Puck.
Kirk's accent just doesn't work
You
for
puck
Will.
with the accent, darling. It's a
Puckman. They realised the
Puck.
P could be vandalised, so it looked like Fuckman, so they didn't do it.
It's a shame.
So no one's watched Scott Pilgrim movie? What? That was the whole okay. Whatever.
It's been a long time since I watched Scott Pilgrim.
That's how he picks up the girl. That's how he introduces himself. He walks on over. He's like, "Did you know Pac-Man, right?"
Well,
And it works?
let's-
Does it work?
No.
Not in real life.
It's a major fail. She's like, oh, God.
Yeah, basically.
Thanks, nerd.
But last question of this round. Which arcade game created the first moral panic around video games?
Oh, Shagalicious.
Danielle?
It has to be, hold on.
I know what you're going to say.
No, I
It's
know what
gonna
it
be
is.
wrong.
It is the one where hold on, wait, listen. It's the one where they hijack cars and rape women. It's no, we know which one it is. It was a big deal and it was not very nice.
You
mean
can't
Grand Theft
filibuster the
Auto?
question.
No, I'm filibustering because I can't remember the name. Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
I like how confident you are, but it's wrong.
99.
Ryan?
Mortal Kombat.
Also wrong. That's the answer I thought Danielle was going to give.
Yeah.
Ollie?
Shagalicious.
Oh, she's going again.
It's the shooter one. It's the shooter one. The single player shooter where they kill people.
I mean,
These are arcade games, you know, Danielle. You know.
Oh, the little joystick. Okay. Mortal Kombat. That's a good guess because
it was a good guess.
finish him. There was
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
If I'm to give a hint, I'm to say that it is an iconic arcade game.
And it involves aliens.
That's too much. And
That
also too
fully
vague.
gives away the answer. What the
No,
fuck?
no,
is
it doesn't. There's like 50 of them. Let's face it.
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. Space Invaders. Was
Yeah.
there-
You didn't
Space
buzz.
Invaders? Oh, who am I buzzing against?
That
Could it be when Kirk says it's about aliens? Of course it's
Galaxian.
Space Invaders.
we were
Galaxian.
thinking Space Invaders, but that's the most benign game ever. I mean, how is that?
It
You
just-
shoot.
Those
It offended
bullshit.
people.
Those are bullshit.
That was not the answer. Was that the answer?
That was,
Yeah, it was the
yeah,
answer.
genuinely.
Wait a minute. Repeat the question. You're saying they say that was too violent?
It caused a moral panic when it came out. Yeah.
I can't believe you gave them.
They
the
said it
answer.
was causing people to rob houses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I personally
Alright.
blamed Pong for that.
Yeah, I blame Pong.
Pong. Yeah, it was very violent.
And I blame the voices. But anyway.
Most likely to commit a murder. All right, we won't talk about it.
No, we don't talk about it.
All right.
So at the end of that round, Danielle is losing with no points.
What?
Ryan is next with 2, and Ollie is next with 3. So none of you are doing particularly well.
No.
I thought I made the questions way easier this time.
I want to say that, like, I feel like Danielle should get a point for tricking Ryan in the first round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's give her a pity
because
point.
we normally give them 3 if they trick both of us. So surely, like,
It's
half
true.
points.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
least.
Okay,
They trick
that's
one of us.
fair. Danielle has 1 point. Still last, but whatever.
One for spirit, though. I've got some spirit over here. Let's do
You
this.
have got too much spirit.
Yeah.
Too much.
We've got another round, one that Ryan loves and also exemplifies why we dislike him. It is called That Motherfucker Back There Is Not Real. The judge will give you a series of character names from arcade games, and you have to figure out which one is made up.
I don't know where I got this reputation of being good at this round, but because I don't think I am.
No, you're not good. You just ruined it the first time. You can't just buzz in and lose people
I
points.
didn't.
Okay,
For the record, I didn't actually do that. I said you could do that.
you did do that.
What? And I got the questions right.
You were getting a lot of them wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you in a minute. Okay, I'm not going to punch you. So you get 4 points. No, you don't, because it's free. You get 3 points if you get it right first, then 2, then 1. Okay. So here are some motherfuckers who are not real. Use your buzz to buzz in, as in the last round. These characters are from House of the Dead 2. Let me know which one you think's not real. Gary Stewart, Caleb Goldman, Thomas Rogan, and Stephen Oldman.
Shagalicious.
Danielle?
Stephen Oldman.
Correct. She's winning. She's
There we
winning
go.
now. See how quick
There we
it turns
go.
around?
That's how you play the game. That's it. The rest of
Biding
you
the
gotta
time.
step it up. Like, come on.
Right, next game. Virtua Fighter 2. Akira Yuki, Lion Raphael, Eagle Justice, or Wolf Hawkfield.
99.
Ryan
Lion Raphael.
is real.
But his name is Lion.
Shagalicious.
You got to be Lion.
Go on, Danielle.
Go on, Daniel.
The eagle one.
That's right. Okay. This is the last group of motherfuckers who are not real. Primal Rage is the game, and these are the names. Reptile, Sauron, Talon, and Vertigo.
99.
Neo Geo.
Ryan
Talon.
is real. Ollie, you buzz next.
The last one. I've forgotten what it was.
Vertigo is real.
Yeah.
So it's
Shagalicious!
between Reptile and Sauron.
The
Daniel.
first one.
Is not real.
I slayed that round.
Yep.
I crushed it.
Destroyed it.
did.
Absolutely. Wow.
Well,
Oh my Lord.
Danielle's taken the lead by far now. 7 points at the front, with Ollie trailing with 3 points. But that could all change in the next round, couldn't it, Dave?
It sure
Wow.
could.
What
Danielle.
a defeatist thing to say. I feel like you were really like throwing me some shade there, Kurt. You're just knocking me right off my cloud. I'm
No, no.
writing here. You're
It's-
like, get down.
It's because whoever goes first, the person who's last goes first on the next round, and they can just take it all the way to the end. You see.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Here we
that's
go.
where the risk comes in. Danielle, you've done amazing. But
Thank you, Dave.
now we're playing Rate Your Stars Right, and that's where things get scary. The judge has chosen 16 games.
I haven't.
The judge has not chosen 16 games. He's chosen.
That's it. We're not playing this round. Bye, folks.
Hold
I've
on.
chosen less
hold on.
than 16.
Let me just change your bullet points to numbers. There we go. The judge
12
has chosen
games.
12 games. And let me try this one more time. The judge has chosen 12 games, and you have to guess whether the next game in the sequence has a higher or lower Metacritic rating. You get 1 point for each game guessed correctly, but it's passed on to the next player when you get one wrong.
So Ryan, you're starting us off. The first game is Silent Scope, which has a Metacritic score of 63. Is Crazy Taxi higher or lower?
Higher.
Incorrect.
What?
I know, right? I know.
What the fuck? The first one, you can't throw out such a curveball like that.
Listen, Ryan, you can't get upset about that after not knowing about The Offspring, okay?
It's true. Okay. All right, Ollie, it's on to you next then. Is Dragon's Lair higher or lower than Crazy Taxi?
Higher.
It's lower.
You wouldn't understand how fucked up these arcade games are.
If you get it right, Danielle, you get to keep going until you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So you could absolutely.
And it's a
ruin it.
50-50, so...
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is true.
It's
Are you
heads or
insinuating
tails.
that there wouldn't be any skill or knowledge behind my guess,
No,
Ollie?
no.
Are you? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, Oliver.
Oliver,
Oliver, may I have some more?
have some more, Mum.
He's never heard that before.
I know. I'm so sorry, Dave. Dave is wincing over there. He's like, oh, God.
I love it, by the way. It's funny, though, because Oliver's not even British.
He's not.
He's not on it.
So doing the Oliver twist is like, oh, okay.
Kangaroos!
Yeah.
Wasn't
he's gonna
even
call
an
me a
Australian
Sheila.
accent.
Anyway, is Afterburner Climax higher or lower than Dragon's Lair?
Higher.
It is higher.
Goddamn right.
It's gonna have to be higher eventually.
The flames are burning me. Okay.
Is
Afterburner.
Angry Birds higher or lower than that?
Definitely higher, baby.
It is higher.
Oh,
going.
Angry Birds! Man, my
going.
nieces and nephews love those Angry Birds. They were just shooting them everywhere.
Is Double Dragon higher or lower than Angry Birds?
Is lower.
It is lower.
This is it. This is it.
Is Time Crisis 2 higher or lower than Double Dragon?
Let's say higher.
It's higher. I'm amazed. You just
Let's
guessed them
go.
all.
Clean sweep. Take it to the end. Let's go.
Is Soul Calibur higher or lower than Time Crisis 2?
Time Crashes too.
Are
Oh,
you
wait,
Googling?
hold on a second. Sorry. No. Hands are here. I'm going to say lower.
You fucked it up.
Oh, no. But I got lots of points, didn't I?
You did.
got
You
lots
did.
of
You got
points.
lots of
I'm
points.
pretty sure it's mathematically impossible for
Yes.
me to beat you now. With how many
Yeah.
Yes,
games
it
are left.
is. Okay, Ryan, is Tekken 2 higher or lower than Soul Calibur?
Higher.
Lower.
Really?
Get in the bin.
I know the first Soul Calibur's good, but
The first Soul Calibur is like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater level score.
hmm
Like top 10 all time.
It's 98.
fair enough.
There you go.
Ollie, is Spy Hunter higher or lower than Tekken 2?
I'm going to say higher.
Fucked it up.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Danielle, is Streets of Rage 2 higher or lower than Spy Hunter?
Higher.
Yep. She's using her magic, isn't she?
Here's the thing. Yes, I am. I'm a witch, you guys. You understand that I have intuition. And by the way, I sound like Salacious Crumb every time I laugh. It is like the most maniacal little like Jabba the Hutt puppet laugh. It is horrifying.
I love
What's
it.
going on with me?
I really think like not being super knowledgeable about games is a help in this round more than it is a hindrance. Because
Because I tried to trick you all the
Wait a
time.
minute.
we try to
Wait
apply
a
like
minute.
logic to it based on what we
No.
know, what public opinion is, but it doesn't work for Metacritic at all.
Ollie would have got Soul Calibur right. I have faith.
I would have, yeah.
You know what? You know what's interesting, Dave?
Yeah.
With the Soul Calibur one, I originally wanted to say higher because I thought a soul is something that is like elevated, and the caliber of a soul is something elevated. I don't know why I said lower, but because originally I
You
thought
felt
it's
it in
higher.
your heart. You felt it in your soul.
I felt it in my black soul.
Mhm.
And you said Danielle's not using any logic.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
That, you know what? This is why. Was that Ollie or was that
That was
Ryan?
Brian.
Ollie.
He's a prick.
I'm pretty sure it was Dave who said
This-
it. No, I
This is why we hate Ryan.
think
Ryan,
that
now I
is-
understand. I
think
understand, darling.
I think you're misremembering things. Actually,
Don't
Don't
think
do.
that.
I
Stop
really don't.
gaslighting. Oh my god.
I've not
Daniela,
even
if
been
you
on
want me
this
to take him out
podcast.
for you, I'll do it.
It's not the first time I've been gaslit,
I know,
Ryan,
yeah.
by a dude, and it's not going to work. All right.
Yeah, don't be sexist, man.
I don't know who you're
It's not
talking
cool.
to. Ryan's not even here.
Oh well, he's an apparition. He's an afterthought. All right, here we are.
Yeah, he's an
go.
afterthought
Yeah,
already.
he is an afterthought. That's right. Okay.
Mission Impossible. I'll pull off my mask. I'll be George
I
this
would
whole
have gotten
time.
away with it. It's also a Scooby-Doo move. Let's do this.
It is.
I'm ready.
Okay, so last one. Is Daytona USA higher or lower than Streets of Rage 2?
Higher.
It's not higher, but you've still won by far.
What's my prize?
You got 12 points, and your prize is well done, Danielle.
Yeah.
Good work.
All the exposure we can
guys.
offer you.
And you
I
can
love
also,
it.
if you want to give a speech or promote anything,
Yeah,
like
please do.
now's the time, please.
The speech is quite frankly this. I did not know majority of those games.
It's
What
okay.
I do know is trusting my intuition. And so every time, even like with the soul one, my intuition immediately said higher. And somehow I went against it, which is very odd. But I just kept going with my gut. Oh, but the one I was very clear on was Angry Birds, because I remember what a phenomenon on that was.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was
I
such a
think you did
phenomenon.
brilliant. And you were a very entertaining and fun guest as well, so thank you.
I'm a little insane. Thank you so much.
I
Colin.
love
we love
this,
it.
Danielle.
I
Thank
love
you so much.
The more insane, the better for me, honestly.
Because otherwise they can't put up with him.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And the voices tell me.
The voices of voices.
I want to know
telling
what
you.
accent the voice is speaking, Kirk.
They speak in Australian.
A difficult
Oh.
language.
They're like
It is
kangaroos,
a
mate.
difficult language.
Hello, Sheila.
Put some
What, we put
fucking
some
prawns
shrimp
on the
on the
barbie.
barbie.